And moving forward, when you think of football, you're always going to think John Madden.
After this game, then we're going to play with my
What do you
brother.
say we play some football as we are underway from Oakland in the John Madden Legacy game. Taken at the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. So it's the NFC stars who will get the ball first. And Charles, as we alluded to, a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL, and then in the NFL in the early 70s. The coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams to have mini camps, one of the first to film practice, because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
So as we mentioned at the top, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And, you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area, not just because John's so associated with Raider football, but also because this was where he spent his formative years.
Yeah, he grew up over Daly City with his buddy John Robinson, who would also become an NFL head coach. And he played his high school ball at Jefferson High.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Javon Curse. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop it. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
We're just going to keep going
The
with cover
pass
one.
rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. A quick throw knocked away.
Come
It's
on,
incomplete.
bro.
Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st round draft pick back in 1958. Was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp. Actually,
No, fuck.
as a player in the NFL.
No,
It was still
bro.
during his time with the Eagles, you and I were talking about this before going on air, that you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail.
And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the
Yes.
Eagles. With quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future head coach in the NFL. Remember, Norm Van Brocklin coached with the Falcons. He coached with the Vikings. And it was there during that time. I think Coach Madden realized his love of football and love for teaching, combining all that together, and that meant being a football coach. So in 1960, began his coaching career at a small college south of San Luis Obispo called Allen Hancock, and then later at San Diego State University under another legendary coach. The guy could throw it around pretty well.
Catch it.
Tries for Rice, intercepted. And they
Yo, nah, if I wouldn't have juked that, that was
That's
done.
something you see very often from a quarterback of his caliber. An
Oh, the
opening drive
Bronx.
interception.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that even he's surprised.
Look,
at
he
how
got
that one
so
played out.
shocked
But we know
that he
this guy
fucking fell.
is not going to stop him from continuing to fire as this game goes along. Probably give a little nod of respect across the field for that one, and let him know he'll be back
Look
in
at
the very
that,
next
son.
series.
So, Charles, as mentioned, we've got another Coach Madden over here on the AFC sideline. Of course, his Raiders, members of the AFC West. So this is a conference he battled in for his entire career. And you think about the landscape of the NFL as he was getting into the back half of his tenure. It was a golden era for coaches. You had Don Shula, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Bud Grant. But it was John Madden who had the best winning percentage of them all, CD. 759,
What's up,
the best
Andrew?
ever.
Brandon, it's hard to believe he could be so successful in the conference with all those great teams. The Steelers won 4 Super Bowls. The Dolphins won 2 and were a mainstay in the playoffs. The Colts were tough. The
I'm about to put my brother after
the
this game.
Super Bowl themselves.
600 down.
But against Hall of Fame coaches, John Madden's record, 36, 16, and 2. That's pretty incredible. His Raiders were a factor each and every year.
On first down, Brady.
What the
And
hell was
it's
that?
incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Alright, I mean,
Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young
I
John
want
Madden
some
made the
long
acquaintance
passes
of the
in
owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course, and the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis
we're going for it again.
John referred to as his
We're going
best
for it again.
friend.
Even though we only need like 10 yards.
Al Davis hired Coach Madden to be a linebackers coach. Remember, this is still the AFL.
Alright.
Totally
So now I know what they're doing.
Dividends almost immediately. The Raiders win the AFL title in 1968.
The AFC with the football here to begin the second
We're going
quarter.
fake punt.
On is the Hall of Famer Ray Guy to punt this away on 4th down. And how about this, a fake? Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And his guys will take over.
Hell no. I didn't even know what happened.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Go.
And that's picked up by the AFC. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard.
First play, bro.
The start of this game has me doing flashbacks and remembering when I was playing and seeing a similar start and seeing the head coach actually take a timeout and gather the whole team around him and tell him everybody to get it together. Let's get some focus going here, because maybe he just sensed that maybe the whole team wasn't ready to play.
Yeah, well, they've gone interception, now fumble. Charles, you talked about John Madden and the Raiders going on a ride. Well, try these numbers on for size. In 10 seasons as a head coach, the Raiders won their division 7 times. They finished second the other 3 times, and he became the youngest coach to amass 100 career regular season victories and is still, to this day, the franchise leader in wins.
And when you think about it, that's where that rivalry with Kansas City really took root. As did the expression commitment to excellence. And boy, was it personified by the players who played for Coach Madden. On offense, how about quarterback Kenny Stable, wide receiver Cliff Branch, wide receiver Fred Biletnikoff, tight end Dave Casper, to name a few.
We're still going for
great
slants.
linemen he had. Center Jim Otto, guard Gene Upshaw, tackle Art Shell, all of them in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And guys on the defensive side of the ball, the Mad Stork himself, Ted Hendricks, Willie Brown,
No.
Joe Matuzak, Ozzy Cisco, and Big Ben Davidson. So many great players, so many great memories.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that will bring up 2nd down. Hey, we want to let you know, give you a fair warning that coming up at halftime, folks at EA Sports have put together a very nice package in tribute to Coach Madden. So make sure you stick around for that.
Yes.
Again, coming up at halftime. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now Brady. And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there. 4th and 3.
We literally need that.
Now the NFC going to call the first of their 3 timeouts.
Pass.
So as they take it over, we step aside.
Spidey got this.
Brady going to go on 4th down.
No! No, you're inches. No!
They get 6 yards going for it on 4th, and now it's 1st and goal.
Well, the feel that I get on this is that they felt like 3 was just not going to be enough after getting this.
Bro, I was so scared.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it didn't even look like they hesitated there. They knew they wanted to go.
I was literally about to
That
say.
tells me that during the week, they were thinking about these situations, and they feel like maybe
Yo, I
they're
got
just a
so
better team,
scared,
and they
bro.
want
I
to
was
go
like,
ahead and
oh,
prove it
shit.
conclusively.
They'll run. This is Allen. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there, because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now Brady. And that is caught for an AFC touchdown. Tony Gonzalez. A 2-yard touchdown grab as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon.
You got to figure down by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
score 7-0. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it ends with an AFC touchdown. And there's been a Terry now to kick it away after the touchdown. And Hester content to hold on to this one and bring it out to the 25. Now the NFC heading back out. Hall of Famer Randy Moss a part of this offense. And Coach Madden, boy, he always appreciated the ferociousness with which number 84 attacked the football in the air.
As Randy Moss says, just chunk it up there, dog, and I'll go get it.
And, Coach, boy, did he ever go get it. Over 15,000 receiving yards, 156 touchdowns. And how about this? From his rookie year of 1998 until 2009, those were his prime seasons, right? He led the league in touchdowns 5 times, but even more so, he showed us all how to go up and get it. Great body control. No one's ever done it better playing the ball in the air.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Favre. And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver. Charles, you think about all the success that John Madden had as an NFL head coach, and he had plenty, and we talked about it, including the 10 straight winning seasons, a Super Bowl title. But like any great coach, he also suffered through a few tough losses along the way as well.
And, Brandon, those tough losses came in high-stakes games because they always had such great success. Think about it this way. 6 times in his 10 years, the Raiders were knocked out in either the AFL championship game or the AFC championship game. But might be a divisional round exit. That's the one that bothered him most of all.
I should have just went
River
straight.
Stadium, December 1972. Yes, the Immaculate Reception game. Franco Harris grabbing the ball that was deflected. Almost at his shoe tops, he picked it up and took it in for a game-winning score to give the Steelers a 13-7 victory. And, partner, anyone who loves black and silver still doesn't believe that ball hit anyone in black and silver that day, and that play should never have counted.
And he goes down, but not before getting this. So we are at halftime of the John Madden Legacy game, and now we present a special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by the Raiders' own Trey Mosley. The AFC going to get the football first here as we are back underway from Oakland in the John Madden Legacy game. From the 6. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The offense for the AFC set to go now. Their defense has pitched the shutout. Now they probably need to deliver a little breathing room, maybe make it a 2-score game as they've got it 1st and 10.
Yeah. 1 second, I'm in a match.
Falling incomplete. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42, he had just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away. He's got a man, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. A big play there for the AFC, 49 yards.
They came out with an aggressive mindset to start the 3rd quarter, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them take more of these type of deep shots as this game moves along. They connected there. They expect to connect on more before this one's over.
And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. So for Coach Madden, Charles, by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on and called 8 Super Bowls together. And how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
And that hits off the left.
Why would you lay on the edge?
Turns away, no good. And this will remain a one-touchdown game. Well, close game, second half. You obviously hate to leave 3 out on the field.
Especially in a game like this when you know points are hard to come by. That was one of their best opportunities so far, and they come away with nothing.
The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
And a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Now Favre.
Get him! No!
And
no, why did I dive like that?
As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah.
And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety.
That's exactly what they were aiming for defensively. A huge early play that cuts off any opposing momentum at the knees. As soon as that snap was made, they were flying to the ball and through the line. Great call from the coaching staff and even better execution.
What was I doing?
Solid field position here to start as they get this out to the 40-yard line.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
Brady's throw into the hands of Gonzalez here. Now, CD, we did get a little ahead of ourselves talking about John Madden, the broadcaster in the 90s and 2000s, because there was another product during that time period that he became quite famous for. It's something that you and I know a little bit about, and that's the video game that bears his name. Originally John Madden Football when it was first released back in the late 1980s, and now known the world over simply as Madden.
And Coach saw this originally as a way to teach the game of football. The early designs were for a 7-on-7 game, but he said no chance. He would not sign off on it. He wanted to be...
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the AFC with the lead and the football as we begin the fourth quarter. Brady's throw there complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. So, CD, you look at the accumulation of John Madden's achievements in the world of football, the coaching success, the Super Bowl title, the incredible career as a broadcaster with 12 Emmy Awards, Madden, the video game. It was very fitting back in 2006 that John Madden got the call to be enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A more deserving person you will not find. He gave an incredible speech on that day, Brandon. So many of his former Raider players were in attendance.
Keep going for it.
Envisioned that when the last person turns off the lights in the hall every night, that the bus talk football amongst themselves. And what a discussion that might be.
Yeah, he finished his speech by saying, today feels like the second time in my life that I'm being carried off on the shoulders of others. Yet instead of off the field, it's into the Hall of Fame. This has been the sweetest ride of them all. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Now Brady.
That
but
was
it's incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Jack Youngblood picks up his second sack of the afternoon. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starting in the NBA power forward. It's a really difficult task.
So 2 minutes to play in the John Madden Legacy game. The AFC trying to finish this one off. We're back to Oakland after this. Brady to throw for it on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over.
Oh, we need a fucking safety.
And they'll throw on 1st down with Favre. And this is intercepted.
Even better.
And that should do it.
Even better.
Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And they're set up in a golden position here right around the 10-yard line. How about one last great play defensively, and that should, for all intents and purposes, finish off this shutout.
That's as good a defensive performance as we've seen in a long, long time. And I know as a team they will celebrate, but I will guarantee you the defensive guys, they'll get together somewhere and have their own private celebration. A shutout, that's something to be cherished.
Brady going to throw here. Steps away. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. Now the NFC going to call the first of their 3 timeouts.
We'll throw a pass.
As they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. To throw is Brady. And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
And he is into the end zone for an AFC touchdown. Marcus Allen taking it in from a yard out. And the AFC able to use the short field as they cash in for 6 points. This defense held out as long as they could, but ultimately the running game wears them down from the 1 yard line.
And that gets set up throughout the entire drive, doesn't it? And when you put those big bodies and determination into that carry, the end result, touchdown.
Brady will look to throw for it. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst. If they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we're talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive.
Well, the pressure gets home, and the AFC comes up with a sack. Now the NFC going to take a timeout, their second, as the clock will stop with just 70 seconds left to go in the game. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Derwin James with a pick, and he is going to score. It's a pick 6 and an AFC touchdown. This has just really been a solid second half from them, CD, as they add another touchdown to the lead and they start to pull away in what was once a close ball game.
Yeah, they actually put the Jets on in this one, didn't they? Put a little cherry on top of that touchdown. Now we just got to play out this final minute, and they'll get a chance to celebrate a very hard-earned victory.
Vinatieri connecting on the extra point, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. Play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. A fairly short kick from the 14. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
To throw is Favre. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. They'll try and throw for it with Favre. Able to hump, and the ball is knocked out. And that's picked up by the AFC. And to the 43, so down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
Well, partner, I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the fourth quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's
what the fuck?
Being shut out. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's one they certainly wish they had back, a loss of 8. So it's a win here for the AFC on an incredible afternoon of football and remembering the life of John Madden. Before we go, one final message, and for all of us at EA Sports,